Get ready with me for my first day at my new job. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marie and I am based in Berlin. This video is going to be a little more personal. I'm gonna dive into my current situation, also cover the why I left my previous job piece, because a lot of people are wondering what I'm doing now and what I have been up to. So let me catch you up. I've never done these videos in the past. I feel like a proper YouTuber. I'm gonna try to cover as much ground as possible. It could potentially be long, but let's see. I'm gonna try to go straight to the point, but because of my ADHD, I think I'm going to digress here and there, so please excuse me for that and enjoy. I just got off the shower, so we're gonna prep the face. I'm gonna be using these toner pads. I got these ages ago and they're really good to bring moisture back to the face. So I usually do 2 of these. Oh, maybe 3. I can't really rip it, can I? Okay, never mind. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna use my gua sha to drain out any excess puffiness. It's probably not good to do that. It's better to do it with a mask. Yeah. Anyways, so a little bit about me. I moved to Berlin 7 years ago for a job and a boy. Fast forward to now, I have a job, but I have no boy. Okay, end of the video. Thank you. I'm just kidding. Now, why Germany? Why Berlin? After I graduated, one thing I knew for sure was I did not want to stay in France. I think ever since I was little, I knew that I never really wanted to live in France. At least as a young adult, I felt like I had so much to see of the world and I just didn't want to stay stuck in one place. In the second year of my master's, I had to do an internship and I landed one in Hamburg in Germany also. So I stayed there 6 months and I met a boy. And I couldn't find an open position in Hamburg, but there were opportunities here in Berlin. So I moved to Berlin. The boy and I stayed together for a year after that, I think, and then we broke up. When I arrived in Berlin, I knew that it was going to be temporary. Like I knew that I was not going to stay long term here. I worked and as I said, the boy and I broke up and I was like, what the hell am I doing here? I have no business to stay in Berlin. So I was looking at other opportunities. My goal was to go to Canada, Montreal specifically, or potentially move back to France. And then COVID hit. So everyone was pretty much stuck, and that's actually when I started to discover the city. I met new people, made new friends, because when I had just arrived, I was solely relying on my ex. I was always hanging out with my ex and by extensions his friends, so I never really had my routine or circle. But this time around, I felt like I was living for me and I was finally building my life here in Berlin. Because it was the summer, even though it was COVID, I could still see a lot of beauty that Berlin has to offer. It's awesome in the summer. There's so much to do, so much green. The city is so good in the summer. I don't know how to explain it. And now because I have my routine, my habits, my friends, I have amazing people around me that support me, that I feel safe with. I feel so good in Berlin. I feel like I belong. I can be whoever I want to be. And this feeling I've never had in France. Aww. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm staying, because there's just so many opportunities and it's really fun. Anyways, as far as my career is concerned, since I got to Berlin, I've only worked in sales. Prior to my first experience, I had no background in sales. I have a master's degree in international management. So when I was studying, I was really thinking about doing marketing and communications. And I kind of got into sales because I needed a job and it was entry level, and the company that hired me was willing to teach me everything. And they did. All the people that I met at that company really helped me become the person that I am today and the professional that I have become. So I'm super grateful for that. But basically, most of my career is in sales. Now, if you work in sales, you know that every quarter you have targets to hit, and sometimes they can be unrealistic. It's just numbers that they pull out of their asses to please investors. And you know what? Every month is the same. Every month it's like constant pressure. You take a breather the first day of the month and then you go at it again. It's a lot. I'm using vitamin C from The Ordinary next. To be fair, at the beginning of my career, it was really fun because I was learning and I was surrounded by an awesome team that uplifted me. It wasn't always perfect, but I had a lot of fun at my previous jobs, and it was all because of the people. Shit really hit the fan because of the people that you report to. And sometimes your vision or your values do not align with theirs, and it creates a lot of friction, and sometimes it can clash. Because of the constant pressure, it was really bad. Like, I burnt out basically, feeling constantly like I'm chasing something. Mind you, I was very successful as an account executive. I made a lot of money and I made it to the leadership board multiple times. So I worked really hard to get there, but money isn't everything. I'm trying to see like where this is going, if it is making sense, but basically I burnt out multiple times, quit jobs after jobs, and it was still the same story over and over again. In the back of my head, I always knew I wanted to do something else, and that something else is fitness. I've always wanted to become a fitness instructor and coach because during COVID, I was working out a lot and I became part of different communities here in Berlin. I felt amazing being around these people. So I always thought I really want to give back to the community and be part of it and lead one, because I also have a story to tell. And to be fair, there are not many Asian coaches in town. I think there's more now, but back then there weren't many. And I thought I want to create space for people like me, people with my shape, people that have similar roots and background, whose story resonate with mine and all of that. But I was always scared because, first of all, I have no experience whatsoever. So I put that to the side for a long time, but the idea was always in the back of my head. This is very important for the story. So the second last job that I quit was in July 2023. I had burned out and I was like, I need to go. It took me a while to decide whether or not I should go, but it was easy when I was crying all the time. I was put on garden leave, that's why I traveled, and you can see all the vlogs on my channel. And when I quit, I thought this is your chance to pursue YouTube and focus on becoming a fitness coach. I came back from my travels. I wasn't employed, but my spark was still gone. I felt immense guilt in not working, not contributing to the society, or not finding my path. I felt very out of place. On top of that, I had lost a lot of self-confidence because of my Hashimoto's. So I gained a lot of weight. Not that I associate my self-worth with the way that I look. I just didn't feel good in my own body, and that really affected me emotionally. During that year, I was applying here and there. I was trying to live life, but also mending the relationship that I had with myself, really building that confidence back up. Some days felt dreading, others were amazing, but I was still in the same position. I felt like I wasn't moving the needle at all. I felt very stagnant. I was just so driven by fear. That's that. I was driven by fear. So I held back a lot from doing things and daring. I was always overthinking, and when you overthink, you're not really moving forward. Pause. I'm gonna apply a moisturizer now. So we're talking July 2024, something in my family happens. Nothing serious, but we have to move out. We had to move out suddenly, and the move was quite costly. And at that time I thought, okay, you need to find a job to save up and support the family financially a little bit. I didn't want to go back to an office job. I really wanted to pursue fitness or do something else, but I went back to the comfortable environment, quote unquote comfortable, because What do you mean it's comfortable when you're burning out? It isn't. I applied to become a salesperson again. So I kind of went back to the devil. The one that broke me. The ex that was super toxic. But I'm super grateful because I applied in July and I got the job in August, September. So the process was really fast. And I started a new job in November. Thanks to my previous experiences, I knew exactly what to look for in a company and I knew exactly how to pinpoint the red flags. And there were a lot of them. Next, we're doing sunscreen. But I was like, you know what? It's just going to be a 1-year contract, no stress. So you can just do a full year with them and dip if you really don't like it. I start my job and I'm like, what the hell? This is going to be very long. There were a lot of things I didn't like, resources that I didn't have. And I think the first week I started to feel frustrated and it's not a good sign at all. It's really not. Tell me why I'm onboarding. It's my 2nd month, so I know pretty much nothing. Tell me why during the Christmas break, there's no figure of authority of our department online to support. My colleague and I were holding the fort for almost 2 weeks. That got me really frustrated and angry. I understand that it's a small company, that you have to be adaptable, things can change very rapidly, but they should have planned better and they didn't. Honestly, I don't want to get in trouble and I also don't want to blame my previous company because it's a company, it is what it is, whatever. And it's not the point. The point is I was very unhappy and it was very much linked to my own purpose. What the hell am I doing with my life? Is it really something that I want to do? Do I still want to entertain these people? Yeah, I didn't feel good at that workplace. So much so that I joined in November. But still, what else? Well, I'm rambling right now. Let's start with the makeup. I'm going to do my brows. Honestly, I worked at my last company for 6 months and I learned nothing in 6 months. Truly, it felt like a waste of time. You know what they say? You don't really leave companies, you leave managers.
And that's on period.
Next, we're gonna do the eyes and I'm gonna use my busted Grwm palette. I was already pretty done by end of December. January 2025 rolls in and I'm a little bit more hopeful because it's the new year. So I was very optimistic. Luckily, at the end of January, I go to Korea. I take a 10-day break, which was definitely needed for my mental health. Got to see my best friends and really just disconnect. I come back and it's the same BS. All the work that I requested to be covered by my manager was not done. He didn't do any of the follow-ups that I asked him to do. And he didn't CC me in any of the communications that I had with my prospects and clients. I understand that you don't CC me in one email, but all of them, it's a choice at this point. So I was really disappointed. We had a conversation about it and all he had to say was, yeah, apologies for that. What? Really? Really? Anyways, talking about it really brings back those memories and all I want to do right now is but I'm gonna try to keep it cute and calm because we're done. After my vacation, I'm completely checked out. So I started to look for other opportunities and the other opportunity was to try to audition for a fitness brand here in Berlin. If you watch my previous vlog, you know that I unfortunately did not pass, but that's all right. At least I had something to look forward to. So I auditioned, I was in the process of that. So I thought, you know what, save up and try to plan your exit the best way possible. We were approaching the end of my probation period. 2 weeks prior to that, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep going or leave altogether. But Your body keeps tabs. For 2 or 3 weeks, I had so many panic attacks. I had crippling anxiety. I could not sleep. I could not eat. It was really bad. Like my body was telling me, this is not healthy. You should do something about it. But I didn't want to listen. And the reason why I didn't want to listen was the money. To be fair, it wasn't as hardcore as the previous companies I worked at. It was pretty chill, but still, I was very angry with myself because I was staying in a position that wasn't making me happy. I just kept going, but I was lying to myself this whole time. My birthday this year was on a Thursday. On Monday of that week, I open up my laptop, I'm panicking. I have heart palpitations, 9 a.m. on a Monday, and I feel that way. It's not supposed to feel that way. I'm off the entire week. I feel better. I completely disconnect from work. The following week, same thing. I'm like, this isn't right. This isn't right. And the only thing that I had to say was,
I can survive 6 months.
and one of my friends was like,
Girl, are you hearing yourself right now?
and to me, it's a huge fear that I have because I don't come from money. My parents always provided for my brother and I. They worked really hard to build the life that we have. And I never missed out on anything. They worked their butt off to allow me to travel and study. So I'm forever grateful for that. But because they struggled, I thought, I cannot just leave. I can't. And it got me even sadder. I felt trapped. Fast forward because I am rambling, but before I cover the last piece, I'm gonna do my eyeliner. I'm terrible at this, so please bear with me. One night I called my mom and she clocked that I didn't feel good at all and I spilled the beans. When she was talking to me, I was bawling my eyes out, and when she said those words,
บ่ต้องให้บ่ต้องนั่นดอกมะลิฟังต้องให้บ่ต้องอีหยังเฮ็ดใจให้มันสบายบ่เป็นหยังมะลิฟังยังมีมามั่งอยู่
I was just wailing. We hang up the phone. I'm still not drawing my eyeliner. We hang up the phone and I'm just writing my resignation letter. The week after, like a couple days after, I turn it in and that was it. That was it. And honestly, it was a scary thing to do, but I felt so empowered. I can't do liner when I talk. Okay. What do we think? Yeah, it's not the greatest work. It's okay. Anyways, it was such a great feeling. The build-up was crazy though. I thought I was gonna throw up, but when I dropped the news, I felt like the power dynamic had shifted and it felt, that feeling was priceless. Priceless. My last day was the next day. Let me do my mascara now. One thing I will say is I'm so grateful for my previous experiences because if it weren't for them, I would have not taken the leap of faith and freaking quit without something lined up. But at that time, and still now, I had this immense trust in me. I decided to just surrender everything to the universe and trust the process because I've survived so many other things in my life, worse stuff in my life, and a lot more serious too. This is just a job. If you feel like you are not appreciated in a space, that's when you need to go. I'm sorry. Camera's about to die. All right, change my battery. What I was saying was, if you feel unappreciated somewhere, if you feel like you don't belong or you feel very uncomfortable, why waste your time there? If people don't see your value, then you're gonna go somewhere where it is appreciated. That's it. Really, if it weren't for my previous jobs and the confidence I built over time, I would have never done it. And I always trusted that I would find a solution because I always did. I built this entire life and it wasn't because I got lucky, it's because I worked really hard and I found solutions for myself. So I really trusted that this was not the end. If anything, it was just the beginning of something great. Yeah! Final step is the lips. So what are the lessons? Trust your gut. Everything works out in the end. Everything works out. You saw it in my previous video. I was anxious and stressed about the fact that I wouldn't find a part-time job, but look at me now. I'm getting ready to go to my new job and I'm super excited. The universe always provides. The universe always provides. I'm using a lipstick from Wake Make in the shade Sun Filtered. Okay, and I'm gonna apply Fixing by Etude House in Baked Pecan. Just in the inner center of the lips, and I'm just going to diffuse it. Since I have a little bit on my finger, I like to tap the rest on my cheekbones for a little blush effect. So conclusion is I am so happy right now. I feel so blessed, so grateful, so lucky to be living this life. I'm speechless. The peace that I have internally is wonderful. I am not so stressed anymore. I'm really living day by day. To be able to have your time back is priceless. Such a privilege, really. Because thanks to the time that I had at hand, I was able to produce more videos, more content on YouTube. And I would have never been able to do that with my 40-hour office job because it sucked the living soul out of me. And now I'm happy with working part-time job, earning less money, but at least I'll have real connections with people. I will be helpful. Like I will have a real impact on people, make meaningful connections, and this is all I want in life, is really just be at peace and content with what I have. I'm still so lucky because I still have my mom, my brother, my best friends, this studio apartment. I get to live in Berlin. Not a lot of people have that, and I'm so grateful, really. I'm so grateful. Everything's gonna work out, everything's gonna be okay, and I am exactly where I need to be. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. On that note, I'm going to end this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is the final look. That's the signature look. This is what I do every day. I hope that you enjoyed this long video, but I wanted to give as much context as possible and to allow you into my world a little more and be more up close and personal. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to gradually open up more and more on this platform, not because I owe it to people, but because I really enjoy doing that. And if I can reach people and inspire them in whatever, to quit their job perhaps, or to pursue what they want to do in life, then I'm a happy human being. That would make my day. That's it. Thank you so much for watching again. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. And until then, take care, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!